Since her debut, Moana has captivated audiences with her epic journey, stunning visuals, and fearless protagonist. But what makes this story even more fascinating is the possibility that it hides a deep and unexpected secret. Moana might not just be a brave girl chosen by the ocean, but the actual daughter of Maui, the trickster demigod and legendary hero. Think about it. Moana is not your conventional heroine. Her connection to the ocean is almost magical. She faces impossible challenges and supernatural creatures with courage and skill that defy logic. And then there's Maui, whose relationship with Moana goes beyond that of a reluctant mentor. The chemistry between the two, their moments of partnership and learning. What if it could all be explained by a blood bond? Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing theories ever proposed about Moana. Get ready to discover how Polynesian myths, hidden clues in the movie, and even Moana's own actions might indicate that she is, in fact, Maui's daughter. Ready to dive deep into this story? Let's go! From the very beginning of her journey, Moana shows abilities beyond those of an ordinary person. Sure, her determination and courage are inspiring, but her feats at sea and against supernatural foes suggest something deeper, perhaps a divine trait inherited from someone very special. Let's examine the moments that point to this possibility. When Moana decides to defy the treacherous ocean, she faces fierce storms and towering waves. Her boat is destroyed, and she's thrown into the sea, yet she miraculously survives. It's not just luck. She washes ashore on a seemingly protected island with no major injuries. Furthermore, the ocean, almost like a mother, supports her during critical moments, like when it returns her to the boat after dramatic falls. Another iconic scene is her confrontation with Teka, the fearsome volcanic goddess. While any ordinary human would be destroyed by the wrath and fire of the entity, Moana stays composed and escapes unharmed. It's as if she's protected by something beyond her bravery. One of Moana's most striking features is her unique relationship with the ocean. It doesn't just choose her as its ally, it interacts with her as if it has a consciousness, something that doesn't happen with anyone else in the film. This connection is more than magical, it's symbolic. In the context of the theory, it may reflect her divine origin. If Maui is her father, Moana may have inherited divine traits that make her special, allowing the ocean to recognize her lineage and protect her. Moreover, Moana is one of the few characters able to see and interact with beings beyond human comprehension. She talks to the spirit of her grandmother Tala, faces Tamatoa the giant crab, and sails through the monster realm Lalotai, something supposedly inaccessible to mortals. Even Maui and Tamatoa show surprise at her presence in such environments, reinforcing the idea that Moana is not a simple human. All of these elements, her miraculous survival, her connection with the ocean, and her interactions with the supernatural, suggest that there's something special about her, something that goes beyond training or courage. Perhaps, as the theory proposes, Moana is a demigod, the daughter of Maui, and these abilities are manifestations of her divine heritage. One of the most captivating aspects of Moana is how Disney uses Polynesian mythology and culture to build its narrative. The details aren't there by accident. Each name, legend, and symbol carries meaning that enriches the story. It's precisely in these cultural elements that we find clues supporting the theory that Moana is Maui's daughter. Let's start with Tala, Moana's grandmother. In Polynesian mythology, Tala is associated with the goddess of the stars, a spiritual guide who lights the way for travelers. In the movie, Tala plays exactly this role, guiding Moana both in life and as a spirit, represented by a majestic, glowing manta ray. This suggests that Tala, as a spiritual figure, may be connected to a divine lineage, reinforcing the idea that Moana also possesses supernatural traits. Now, the name of Moana's mother, Sina, is even more revealing. In Polynesian mythology, there's a tale about Sina, a maiden courted by a love-struck eel. Uncomfortable, she tells her husband, who kills the eel and buries it. From where it's buried, a coconut tree grows. This story is directly referenced in Maui's song You're Welcome, where he mentions planting an eel that became a coconut tree. This is no coincidence. It's a direct link between Maui and Moana's family. If Maui is the husband in the legend, he could be Moana's father. Another important element in Polynesian mythology is the concept of the underworld, called Pulotu. This spiritual realm is inaccessible to humans and reserved for gods and spirits. In the film, Moana enters Lalotai, the monster realm, with no apparent difficulty. Even Maui and Tamatoa are surprised to see her there, suggesting she has a connection to the divine. Additionally, Moana's courage and diving into Lalatai is remarkable. Even knowing she was entering the unknown, she faces the challenge as if it's natural. This further supports the idea that she is not an ordinary mortal, but someone with divine blood running through her veins. Maui is an iconic demigod in Polynesian mythology, known for heroic feats and shaping the world. He's often portrayed as a trickster, but also a hero who helps mortals. If he had a relationship with Sina, his demigod nature would be passed on to Moana, explaining her feats, connection to the ocean, and ability to interact with the supernatural. Disney has proven to be a master of subtly weaving mythology, connecting dots to build a cohesive universe. So, the idea that Moana is Maui's daughter isn't just fascinating. It's a natural extension of the stories that inspired the film. One of the most intriguing scenes in Moana is her visit to Lalatai, the monster realm. Her ease in entering and surviving such a hostile environment raises questions about her true nature. What if this moment is further evidence of her divine heritage and ancestral link to Maui? Lalatai, described by the film's directors as the Polynesian underworld, is inspired by Pulotu, the spiritual realm inaccessible to mortals. According to Polynesian beliefs, only gods, spirits, or those with supernatural ties can enter this place. Yet, Moana dives into the monster realm without hesitation, bravely confronting terrifying creatures like Tamatoa. Even Maui seems surprised by Moana's determination and ability to survive in such a dangerous setting. This reaction isn't just comedic, it implies that Moana has something special, something that places her on equal footing with beings like Maui and Tamatoa. And what could be more special than having divine blood? Beyond her physical resilience and courage, Moana also shares an emotional and symbolic bond with Maui throughout her journey. At first, Maui is reluctant to help her, but as they face challenges together, a relationship of mutual respect and admiration develops. This dynamic becomes even more interesting through the lens of the theory that Maui is her father. In mythology, demigods often inherit traits and abilities from their divine parents. Moana may have inherited her bravery, determination, and connection to the supernatural from Maui, explaining her ease navigating Lalatai and overcoming trials that would destroy an ordinary human. Another fascinating clue about Moana and Maui's relationship lies in the piglet Pua. In Polynesian mythology, Maui had a son named Kamapua'a who could transform into a pig. While this might seem like a fun coincidence, including Pua as Moana's loyal and symbolic companion may be an intentional nod to this legend. Though Pua doesn't have a big role in her journey, he's a constant reminder of her connection to the land and cultural roots. If Pua symbolizes Kamapua'a, it strengthens the idea that Moana belongs to a lineage with deep divine connections. Finally, the theory suggests that Maui had a relationship with Sina, Moana's mother. This connection would explain not only Moana's extraordinary traits, but also Sina's supportive stance on her daughter's decision to brave the ocean. Unlike her father, who hesitates to let her go, Sina trusts in Moana's strength and destiny. After all, who better to face the ocean than someone who inherited Maui's indomitable spirit? If this theory is true, Moana's story is not just about a young woman chosen to save her people, it's a deeply familial tale. Her mission wouldn't just be to restore the heart of Te Fiti, but to reunite with her father and discover her place in the world as a demigoddess. Her journey would become a rite of passage, not only to prove her worth, but to reconnect with her divine origins. Even if this theory isn't official, it shows how animated films can be interpreted in new and creative ways. The cultural richness of Moana and the depth of its characters allow us to explore possibilities like this, expanding the film's universe and sparking conversations among fans. Now it's your turn. Do you believe Moana is really Maui's daughter, or do you see it as just another creative interpretation of the film? Share your ideas and theories in the comments. After all, part of Moana's magic lies in how it inspires us to navigate our own stories and forge new connections.